Hello, my name is Emma Lawrence, and I am going to explain how to solve the problem for Quiz 4, signed by Miss Chen of West Valley College for Math 3B. So, the problem is, find the volume of the region generated by y equals cosine x, the x-axis, or y equals 0, on the interval 0 to pi over 2, revolved around the y-axis. So the first thing that we do is we draw the region, of course. So from 1, -1, from 0 to pi over 2, This is revolved around the y-axis, so the region is going to look something like this. Now, from here, we need to decide whether we're going to use the shell method or the disc or washer method. I decided to use the shell method because with the shell method, you use the top function and the bottom function as the shell height. And because it's revolved around the, no, I spelled it right the first time. Because it's revolved around the y-axis, I'm not going to have to convert the functions into, like, with respect to y. So the volume is going to look something like this. Volume equals the integral from 0 to pi over 2 pi x, which is the length or the radius, times cosine x minus 0, which is the upper bound function, and the lower bound function. Okay, and this is a relatively easy function to solve with integration by parts. So I'm going to rewrite it now with the 2 pi on the outside. So volume equals 2 pi integral from 0 to 2 pi over 2 x cosine x dx. So now I'm going to set u, and then if we remember, integration by parts is the integral of u dv equals uv from a to b minus the integrand a to b of v du. So I'm going to set u equal to x so that du is equal to dx, and then everything else is going to be dv equals cosine x dx. Now the antiderivative of cosine, of course, is going to be sine, and then we just put it together. So it's going to look something like this. The volume equals 2 pi times u and v put together, so x sine x minus the integral from 0 to 2, and this is from 0 to 2 pi, the integral from 0 to 2 pi of v du, so these two together. So it's going to be sine x dx. And then this becomes negative cosine x. And because it's not an undefined integral, we don't have to do plus c. So this whole thing becomes v equals 2 pi times sine x, or x sine x minus, or plus, because this is going to go to plus, cosine x, all from 0 to 2 over pi. And then we could just go ahead and stick we plug in. So it's going to be v equals 2 pi times 2 pi, or pi over 2 sine pi over 2 plus cosine pi over 2 minus 0 sine 0 plus cosine 0. So cosine 0, since we can tell from here, is going to be 1, which means, and then this is 0, of course, because it's 0 times 0. Cosine pi over 2 is going to be 0, which we can see here. And then sine pi over 2 is going to be 1, so it's going to be pi over 2 times 1. So v equals 2 pi times pi over 2 minus 1. And if we rewrite that, it goes into v equals pi squared minus 2 pi. And that is the final answer.